Hey, this is the El Donzo and Deez show coming at you from the Skyhammer Studios here on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. I'm El Donzo.
And I'm Deez.
And we're kind of wrapping up our little rant here. I wouldn't say it's a rant. This is big stuff because this is a turning point in our country right now. But what we do want to talk about is some of the backlash. Well, I would say it's backlash, but almost supportive opinions on Donald Trump from members of the left. Chris Cuomo was out there saying that this smells like BS to him, that he doesn't think anything's going to come of it. And you've had a lot of liberals coming out and saying that. I think Andrew Cuomo was one of them as well.
And so, on the same token, there's people on the right that are coming out against Trump.
Yeah, but there's not that many.
No,
there's not. I mean, you got your Liz Cheneys and your turncoats like that. Okay, which nobody gives a damn about.
I'll be honest though. I think I agree with Tucker. In his episode, I believe it was episode 3, all 13 minutes of it. Come on, Tucker, put a little friggin' effort into this. Where he talks about even the ones that have been the biggest suck-ups to Trump behind closed doors, like they want to see him go down because he goes against the establishment, all of them. He's not your typical politician. And even the ones that are right there, rubbing elbows with him, I think are secretly wishing upon his downfall so they can get back to business as usual,
which is making money because
both the right and the left collectively sticking it to the average American person.
Yeah. Trump's the only president we've ever had that didn't stick it to the average. He had no desire to gain anything from being president. It's just like when you look at it real quick. I touch on this because we've got plenty of time on the Donzo and Deez show if you're just now tuning in. Say what you want about Donald Trump. You can fault him for all his faults, but I'm going to tell you something right now, and I stand by this conviction. He is the only president in my lifetime that I really believe gave a damn about the American people. Like, he didn't do this to get rich. He wasn't making foreign policy decisions to line his money or line his kids' pockets. And I'm going to tell you something right now. It may the good Lord strike me dead where I stand. If Donald Trump was accused of a fraction of the things that Joe Biden had done, they would string Donald Trump and Don Jr.
He'd already be under a prison.
He'd be under a prison somewhere.
No question. I mean, look, my opinions of him are, again, I don't need to repeat them.
No.
But I love what he did for the country. And yeah, it was nice to have somebody who isn't the establishment in there. With all of his faults, and there are probably many, but at the end of the day, he did put America first.
Yeah,
that's one thing you can't take away from him. I know he pissed off a lot of people with some of his words and opinions and whatnot, but at the end of the day, he wanted this country to get back to what it used to be a long time ago, and right now we're in a sad state of affairs, and I personally, and I hope against hope that I'm wrong, I think they're going to get him on some of these counts.
So I want to touch on that. I think they are too. If you're just tuning in now, we're talking about the 37 counts, the indictments that Donald Trump has coming against him. Look, I don't think there's a lot of ways around this why they did this. There could be a lot of reasons. One reason could be to make sure he's the front runner because his support has skyrocketed. And it should skyrocket. But if they're going for that tactic to make sure that Donald Trump is a front runner, they're saying, but we think Biden has a better chance against Trump than he does DeSantis. Okay? But if the deep state is really this bad, I don't think they care who the front runner is going to be. I think we're to this point right now to where they will overthrow an election. I don't think it matters. If they don't want him to be in, or DeSantis, or even that fat wad Chris Christie, I think the presidents are preordained at this point. Now, let's say this is what I think. I think they really want to throw him in jail. I don't think it's about getting him to be the front runner. I think they want to throw him in jail and be done with him. They're scared to death of him. The establishment right and the establishment left are both scared to death of this guy because the people that like him and support him know why they like him and support him. All right? They cannot have, if Donald Trump gets back in the White House, I think there's going to be a major issue for these people. I think Donald Trump has gotten wise. He did 4 years in there already. And I think he's learned a lot of lessons about who to trust and who not to. And he's going to pack that with some hardcore SOBs. And I think he's going to rain down a hellfire upon them the likes of which they've never seen. And I just don't think they'll let it happen. And I don't think they'll let it happen with DeSantis. But that doesn't mean we lose hope. It doesn't mean we give up on our republic. That doesn't mean we do that. We just keep charging because that's all we can do until the fat lady sings. So that's my take on it.
Agreed.
So I want to get into this real quick. I got the soundbite pulled up. We were talking about people coming out. I wouldn't say supporting the former president. Let's not say that, but kind of calling this out for what it is. This is a Fox News story. Okay, this is a clip from CNN. Can you preface this for everybody?
Yeah, basically, Fox put this up, and it was a clip from a CNN kind of a roundtable discussion where they were talking about the Trump indictment, and CNN legal analyst Ellie Honig called out the Department of Justice for slow walking the Hunter Biden investigation. We got the clip for you.
Yep, right here.
A great point about the Hunter Biden investigation at DOJ. This is preposterous. This has been pending, according to our reporting at CNN, since 2018. 5 years. And this, by the way, this investigation is not the laptop. This investigation is a tax issue. Did Hunter Biden declare his income? And a sort of obscure gun law. Did he possess a gun while he was addicted to drugs, which you're not allowed to do under federal law? Did he lie about that? But 5 years, I mean, that's a 5-week investigation. Somebody, and this spans the Trump administration and the Biden administration. Someone's got to make a call in this case. I don't know what is going on, but it's beyond anything I've seen before.
And the U.S. attorney was kept on from
Yes.
the Trump administration in that case. And again, there's no parallel. Nobody's saying there's a parallel to anything that we saw in the 37 charges. But to your point, it's not a question that just Republicans or kind of operatives have. Like Democrats are also kind of shaking.
Make a call. Yeah.
So one thing, a couple things I want to touch on about this, and I agree, it's good the guy come out and say, this is being slow walked with Hunter Biden, but it absolutely was all about the laptop, and the reason is the FBI had the laptop for at least a year before the 2020 election. Okay, there's a reason they kept that under wraps and tried to keep it down. There's a reason they called Facebook and Twitter and said, hey, look, there's going to be some Russian disinformation coming your way about Hunter Biden. If people would have known about that laptop and its contents, that could have easily swayed the election because people didn't want to believe just how corrupt Joe Biden was. And this isn't about did he file his taxes, okay? This is about why did he not file his taxes? Because on that laptop, you have evidence that he was getting bribes and pay-for-play schemes from foreign countries and using his old man's influence on it, okay? Now, the thing about the gun, this wasn't about having a gun while you're addicted to drugs. He lied on a form 4473, which is an ATF form when you buy a pistol that says you are not addicted to illicit drugs, narcotics, and whatnot. So what he's done is he's outed himself. Now, here's where I get pissed about this. If that was you or me, Deez, and we lied on that and we got popped, you better believe the ATF would come after us.
Oh, for sure.
As conservatives.
Absolutely.
Okay? So I get what the guy's saying. I appreciate he's making the point. Why are they slow walking this? But he could have been a little bit more forthcoming, done a little bit more homework too, before he blatantly played down what was going on with Hunter Biden's laptop. That was election interference through and through. Your take.
No, I 100% agree. They, nothing really. It was quote Russian disinformation, all this, that, and the other. Nobody really wanted to talk about it, and yeah, it definitely could have swayed it. And now coming from the New York Post, Hunter Biden's associate Devin Archer, if you remember him, is in talks now to talk about the alleged $10 million bribe from Ukraine. And they were wanting it to do this week, but they're talks now, and it's going to happen at a future date. So it'll be very interesting to see what, if anything, comes out of this, which, judging by what's been going on over the last 5 years, probably not a whole lot. One of the New York Post reporters was basically walking with or around Joe Biden after one of his appearances, was asking him why do they refer to you as the big guy in the emails and this, that, and the other. And Joe Biden just looked at him and said, why do you always ask dumb questions, and turned around and walked away.
Well, so something else, Tony Bobulinski, who came out and did a show with Tucker and spilled all these beans, and nobody listened to him. He just disappeared off the face, and he's not disappeared, but nobody took him seriously. This is right before the 2020 election. There's one more soundbite I want to pull up real quick. And I don't know if you can hear it, but Joe Biden's chuckling when the reporter asks him this. Let's play this real quick. And go.
Are there tapes that you accepted bribes, President Biden? Is that true?
Would you comment on the arrest of the former president, sir?
in this video, he's chuckling.
Yeah.
I don't find it funny. Okay. And I wouldn't, if I was in that hot seat, I wouldn't find it funny either. Joe Biden's gone, but he ain't quite as gone as everybody thinks he is.